Hello everybody, and welcome back to the World Sim Racing Competition, or WSRC, where anybody can compete for cold hard cash in one of our hosted races. Today we have a $75 prize pool, which will be split among the top 3 finishers of this race. We have a lot of familiar faces in this race. We have Eldar sitting in P2, Sebastian in P3 with the Sergeant livery, with the Logan Sergeant livery. That's a tongue twister. Paulo, or Paolo, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, in 4th. Juan in 7th, and Ryan in 8th, who was in our last race. So we have lots of familiar racers ready to battle it out today in this race on Laguna Seca in the F4 cars. This is a standing start, so in a matter of seconds, we shall be off. Green lights are off, and we are going for the first WSRC F4 race at Laguna Seca that's been paid. And Eldar is able to take the lead from Jaco as they go side by side into the first hairpin. Eldar moves up a position, Jaco down, Kyle up a position, and Paulo down. No big collisions thus far. And we see everyone in the field has got some nice, clean racing. In F4, you have to be specifically certain where you're placing the car because they are so fragile that the simplest touch to another vehicle or terrain will cause permanent damage. Eldar and Jaco battling it out, 0.4 seconds, trying to determine who's going to take P1. Sebastian in the Logan Sargent livery, just behind, 1 second from the leader. Kyle and Ronan battling it out as well, 0.2 seconds, but we cannot take our eyes off this battle between first and second. This race has just begun, yet I can tell it is going to be action-packed by the pace that the races have demonstrated during qualification. We'll have a quick look at Ronan and Nils, who are bumper to bumper. You can definitely expect Ryan and Ronan, all 3 of these individuals, to get in each other's slipstream and try and make a move done. We have Ryan in the blue and purple car, right on the bumper, using the slipstream, pulling to the outside, potentially looking for a swap back, or simply going to the outside, a little bit of a lockup from Ronan, but they are still able to maintain composure. No, he's not. Ronan goes off track, and Ryan is able to make up the position and just get by him on the 3rd corner of Laguna Seca. There's a big crash behind between Nils and Ronan. Let's try and get a replay of that. He almost loses traction, and the ones behind go into havoc. Checking back in with our leader, we have Eldar in 1st place and Jaco just 0.6 seconds behind. Eldar has been able to win the past 4 WSRC races he has competed in, so will this be the time that he is dethroned by our new contender, Jaco? Sebastian now 2.2 seconds to the lead, keeping P3. And that's all you need in this race, because the top 3 contenders win prize money. So if you're on that podium, you know you're walking home with cash. Paulo in 4th place, only 2 seconds behind P3. He's going to look to crawl his way back up. Eldar's been able to extend the gap just that little bit more. 1 second difference now. Nils has moved up 2 positions, so has Ryan. Eldar up 1, Jaco down 1, Ronan down 2, Juan down 2, and Ryan has just made another move up into P5. Spectacular racing from this individual. A couple lap times are in, with Sebastian with a 1:23 and Paulo with a 1:24. The rest of the field haven't been able to put in valid lap times as of yet due to the high stakes nature of this race. Hitting track limits is extremely easy, especially when there's a $75 prize pool on the line. Check in now with Jaco, 1 second behind, now 0.8 going through the corkscrew. It looks like he has the advantage through this final sector, gaining on Eldar slowly. This is anybody's game. A mistake is simple and easy to make. Checking it now on Nils and Kyle. 0.1 seconds between the two of them. Sebastian dropped down 4 positions. He was in P3. There must have been a big crash or some event that occurred. He'll be looking to crawl his way back up. As we know, he's a veteran racer in WSRC and has the skills to hopefully pay the bills. Side by side now, Nils and Kyle's heading into T1. Will they be able to leave enough room for each other and get through cleanly, or will there be a collision between the two yellow racers? And Nils is able to nicely make the move done. It looks like Sebastian is trying to slot his way in through as well to pass Kyle. And he is side by side with them. They are swapping between P7 and P8. Sebastian isn't able to get the move done, but he is right on Kyle's tail, ready to pull out of the slipstream once they cross this corner. He'll be looking to get something done before this uphill section where it is almost impossible to get a move made. He dives to the inside and is able to cleanly overtake and reclaim 6th position. Sebastian is looking to get back onto that podium, take home some money. It looks like we have a tight battle between Ryan and Paulo. Only 0.3 seconds between these two races. Eldar able to extend the lead by 1.5 seconds now to 2nd place. Paulo is right on Ryan's tail. Ryan is up into P3. This is an incredible showing from the racer. Up 5 positions now as of current. 12 seconds to P2 for P1 to Ryan. So we've got a little bit of a leaderboard malfunction, but we are back. Paulo is looking to take back that position from Ryan. He wants to take P3 for himself and get a share of that prize pool. Both racers are right on each other's bumper. 2-second gap now between Jaco and Eldar. Looks like Eldar may be taking home his 5th win in WSRC, but there are still 9 minutes left in this race, so it is anybody's game. Sebastian and Nils, 1 second between the two racers. Ronan, 25 seconds behind our leader. Juan, 28 seconds. And Justin, 40 seconds. Ryan and Paulo is the battle to be watching at this point in time. These two racers are right on each other's tail as they enter the uphill section. All it takes is the slightest mispress of a throttle and you will lose so much momentum going into this section, now into the corkscrew, where anything can happen with the slightest lapse of judgment. These racers are glued to each other. Ryan cannot escape Paulo's race car. And these two racers continue to push through amazing laps. Eldar setting the fastest lap of the day, a 1:22.48. Paulo going a little bit wide, trying to make a better exit into this final straight. This is where you need to get the move done. Pull out of the slipstream, use that advantage, and dive to the inside. That is how you get the move done. That is what Paulo will need to do if he wants to get past the very skilled racer Ryan, who is already up 5 positions, who skipped qualifying because he just entered the race late. Nils is right on his tail though, with Nils and Sebastian looking like they are fighting hard. 7 and 4 racer going at it, but it looks like the closer battle is between Paulo and Ryan, so we're going to stay watching that. Eldar has been able to extend the gap now to 7.8 seconds. It looks like Jaco may have had a moment there. We'll see if we can catch that on the replay, and he did. He goes completely sideways, virtually eliminating his chance of catching up to Eldar. But you never know in this game. Luckily, he had a large enough gap, so it wasn't a crucial mistake that cost him the race. Now the gap between Ryan and Jaco is only 5 seconds. Paulo still stuck to the rear of Ryan. These two racers are going at it. Nils and Sebastian also right on each other's tail. Paulo looking to the outside, trying to get into Ryan's mirrors, trying to put him off his game. Two racers are so close to each other, as are Nils and Sebastian. 17 seconds to P1 for these two individuals, and 18 seconds for Nils and Sebastian. They've been battling for around 4 minutes now. This is exactly what you come to expect in WSRC. Paulo dives to the inside, trying to get something done, but Ryan refuses, still taking the racing line and cutting him off. This is what racing is all about, blocking, defending, and not letting the car behind you pass no matter what. Ryan is feeling the pressure though, going slightly wide. He knows that 33% of this prize pool is in his grasp if he's just able to maintain his position on the podium. He's already moved up 5 positions, so he knows he has what it takes to stay at this spot in the race. It's just a matter of whether he has the mental fortitude to stay ahead of Paulo. Eldar now an 11-second gap to P2 and a 7-second gap between P3 and P2. Paulo is going to try and get into that draft. He needs to if he wants to make this move stick. Sebastian and Nils, it looks like there has been a change in drivers, but we can't swap cams because these are the two racers who are racing for the money. They are racing for that crucial 3rd spot where they take home the prize pool, 33% of it. For those that just joined, this is the World Sim Racing Competition, or WSRC, where any iRacer can join a race and compete for cold hard cash. Both races side by side heading into the bend, but Ryan had the inside, so he was able to maintain his lead. The competition is fierce today. Some of the best lap times so far have been a 22.48 by Eldar, a 23.12 by Jaco, 24.7 by Ryan, and a 24.1 by Paulo. So Paulo seems to have the pace advantage, but he is just stuck behind Ryan. He is a master at defense, so he is not letting anybody past. Correct, Haruki. Ryan is doing incredible, up 5 positions, and he did a similar performance last race. Paulo looking to the inside, but Ryan still defending. Ryan is a master of cutting through the track. It doesn't matter where he qualifies, he is able to make up at least 5 positions. Paulo now looking to the outside, getting out of that slipstream, trying to make something happen, putting the pressure on Ryan. Ryan has the inside though, so he has the advantage. But Sebastian is back. He has crawled his way back up from P6. He started in P3, and now he is in the contender for getting into the podium. These 3 races are all within 0.1 seconds of each other, side by side with Ryan. Paulo was able to get the move done, and now he's claimed P3. Ryan, Sebastian tips Ryan, and Ryan goes off. There'll be a little bit of damage, but Sebastian has moved into P4 now. Paulo was able to secure P3, and this has been an incredible race from these individuals. Nils has also moved up into P4. He's surpassed Sebastian. Paulo is now in it for the money. And it looks like Nils and Ryan are at it. I think Sebastian went off track. Hard to see. Nils now has taken the lead, and you know Ryan will be looking to get that position back to move into P4 and then challenge Paulo for the podium. Only a minute and 20 seconds left in this race, and the positions are moving like crazy. It is the top 3 individuals that get into the prize pool, and I was correct in my assumption. Sebastian just went off track during the uphill section and now has dropped down to P9, which is unfortunate. He put in such a great battle, starting in P3, dropping down to P6, getting back into P3, but then having an incident and dropping now into P9. But that's what racing is all about, getting a taste of that glory. And sometimes you get to take it home. Others, you're not so lucky. But it looks like Ryan just spun out. Let's get a replay of that. As he's going now into the first bend, perhaps he gets a little overzealous on the brakes. The nerves get to him, and he just spins out. He locks up, and that is heartbreaking to see. We check back in with our leader. We have Eldar in first place at 12th. Jaco, 12-second gap to first. And now Paulo and Nils looks like the battle to be watching. Paulo, 23-second gap first place, and Nils only 2 seconds behind. This race is closer than we ever could have imagined. Ryan has dropped down to P5, now 5 seconds behind 4th place. We're so close to tasting victory, and now there's only 1 minute left of this race. Potentially, this could be the last lap. We'll have to tune in with our leader as he goes around for one last time. Elder solo run, as always, 12-second gap. He may be able to pull off a 5th victory in WSRC. His pace has been unmatched so far, 0.6 seconds faster than 2nd place Jaco. Jaco will be happy with these results, securing a 2nd place for his first race from what I believe in WSRC, splitting the prize pool 33%. Eldar is performing a masterclass right now, hitting the slip angle you can see on every corner as the rear slightly moves out. That's how you know he's on the absolute limit of grip. I'm going to have to check back in with Paulo and Nils. 1 second difference now between these races. Does Nils have what it takes to get past Paulo on this final lap? Does Paulo have the mental fortitude to stay composed and maintain his position as P3 to take home the 33% share of this prize pool? Or will he fumble under the pressure and allow Nils to reclaim 3rd position? Nils has put on an amazing performance this race as well, moving up 5 spots throughout the entirety of this race. Paulo up 1 position, Elder up 1, and Jaco down 1 as well. He has closed the gap to Paulo as well, so it's only around 0.5 second difference now. We will see if he will be able to make a move on this final corner, or if Paulo will be able to secure P3. He dives, he tries to get something done, but Paulo has secured the position. Eldar has also secured the race win for the 5th time in WSRC history as the checkered flag waves. Eldar in 1st place, Jaco in 2nd place, and Paulo in 3rd place. Each of these races taking a 33% share of the $75 prize pool. This was a fantastic race, possibly the best we have seen from WSRC thus far. Exciting, multiple lead changes, the elbows were out. Amazing performance by Ryan, Sebastian, Nils, and Paulo, all battling for that 3rd spot, but Paulo was able to come out on top. Thank you, every racer, for joining, and thank you everybody for tuning in. This has been an amazing race, a great race, one for the ages. We look forward to seeing everybody tuning into our race tomorrow, same time. And for the racers that are watching, we have another race tomorrow, the exact same time in the GR86s, if you wish to compete. It's our Challenger Series, so it's more profit, more risk, but more reward. So, if you're up for it, take the challenge and head over to https://wsrc.live. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and that's all for today. I'll see you same time tomorrow.